Okay, so I came across this video on celebrity Will Smith and him being asked the big question on his belief in God. So let's watch this clip real fast and then we can talk about it.
If you want to achieve.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
How important has faith been for you throughout your career?
The idea of God, and people throw different words around and people have different definitions. I believe in an energy that is constantly creating in all things, that if I cultivate a relationship with, I can be more powerful than I am. I can do things 100-fold what Will could do if I tap into the movement and the energy and the flow and the creative intelligence that's making the sun and the stars and the trees that we're breathing. If I tap into that, I know I can be infinitely more powerful, creative than me with my ego construct.
Okay, now, just because someone said they believe in God doesn't mean it's the same God of the Bible, right? And you can tell it seems like Will is kind of more into like the new age, ideology and spirituality, basically from him saying basically energy, and basically like you can find this energy, and you can contact the spirits through the practices of religious guys, and just all this type of stuff, by basically him saying that his God is energy, right? And we know as believers that God isn't an energy, but actual is a being with an intellect, awareness, will, and emotion. So that is an energy. That's energy is created. God isn't created, right? Amen. So that's crazy that Will said that. In the past, he had recent, interviews and talks about him going on like a spiritual journey using ayahuasca. And ayahuasca is like a medicine plant, something they use back in like the shamans. Like it's very historic, right? They used it back then in ancient times. So I wanted to show this clip on him saying that he went on a 2-year ayahuasca journey. So let's watch this clip.
I was starting to realize that I couldn't win enough. My marriage couldn't be good enough. My kids couldn't be healthy enough. That none of that stuff was going to like scratch the itch that I had. And I started a spiritual journey. Right. And when you start to move in those spiritual circles, people bring up things. A friend of mine had come to me who had done it. I've done nothing. I've never smoked weed. I've never done cocaine. I've never taken pills. I've never done anything.
Weren't you fearful of this
Terrified. I'm a serious researcher, and when I did my research and some of the experiences, I decided that it was something that, I wanted to try.
This is psychotropic?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's a psychotropic. You're not hallucinating, right? It's like both realities are 100% present. So you're in this room, you're sitting in the room, you don't lose sight. It's not like superimposed over this reality. It's totally separate. There's what's going on in your head and there's what's going on in the room.
And what is the duration of the dose?
Usually 8 hours.
Oh my.
Yeah, so.
And there's no way you can break it. It just has to run its course.
Once you drink it, you're going to see yourself in a way you've never seen yourself.
So like I said again, Will is into some new age ideology and is trying to gain enlightenment through spiritual experiences. And this is one of his spiritual experience that he had, was using ayahuasca and being on it for a while, right? And basically getting that energy from that, which is, we know, dark energy, because also his wife, Jada Smith, actually talked about her ayahuasca trip and her experience with it and her journey with it. And what she said about it was kind of like eye-opening too. It's kind of like basically her saying it's not for everyone, obviously. It can be bad, it can be like bad trips and all that type of stuff, like shrooms. But we all know, man, searching for that isn't of God. Searching for the new age spirituality, ideology stuff isn't for anyone. It shouldn't be for anyone. And it's just a waste of time, really, looking for fulfillment in things that are temporary and isn't of God. So it isn't really anything that can be purposeful for you in this life, man. So let's just check that Jada interview out real quick.
How did that feel? It's like floating in the warmest bath in a pink cloud full of warm honey. You are just absorbed. It feels like the most softest, enveloping love. Because I think that's what we all look for, like in our relationships, our romantic relationships. We want to just let go, and we want to be so absorbed in that love. But that can't happen between two human beings.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to love through divine presence versus personality.
Yeah.
Instead of going here, from me to you, it's like, no, I'm going to go up through divine, back down to you. Personality is always going to be full of desires that are, unrealistic and what have you, right? It's like, it was so incredible. I would just burst into tears because even now, as I'm sitting here with you, I'm just full of so much joy because it never leaves you. You can't unring that bell.
Yeah, so advocacy, it just runs in the family. It's just a trip that is influential to those around him. I wouldn't be surprised if the son or, Willow took a dose or, certain trips that she wanted to take before and certain experiences with her trauma, or even just to gain enlightenment, man. Whatever it is, people are being persuaded and influenced and encouraged to take these type of things because it can be misleading and tell you that it's going to be good for you to heal. It's going to be good for you to see your inner self. This New Age ideology is really what they want to teach you when it comes to trying to find your inner self and inner peace within yourself, finding identity in yourself, finding identity in feelings, emotions, and trusting in yourself instead of actually finding your identity and trusting in God, man. The one who created you. God isn't energy. God is the one who created everything, right? So find your identity in God, my brothers and sisters, man. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. Pray for Will Smith. Pray for his family because he is the man of the family, and they look up to him for guidance, right? So if he's going down that spiritual journey and being hooked on these type of things, then you can see where that's going to go with the family, man. So God bless you guys. I'm out.